Endo is a boy who doesn't dream of glory or heroism, he just wants money. Fast, easy, and in huge amounts. The moment he hears that clearing a full dive VR game called Prophecy Online could make him rich, he jumps in without hesitation. For him, it's not just a game. It's a shortcut to the life he wants. He plays with obsession, learns every trap, every mechanic, and finally does what no one else could. He clears the entire game. But before he can cash in on his efforts, the system throws a cruel twist. The game announces its shutdown. Then the real world breaks. Days later, monsters from Prophecy Online start tearing through reality. Cities fall. Chaos spreads. The game was more than just code. It was a warning. And now Rai stands as the only person who knows how to survive it. But he's not here to save the world. Not unless there's a price tag. The story begins with drones flying across the city, heading straight toward the tall tower on the floating island. This tower stands high in the sky like it owns the world, but deep inside, in the Monastery of Fire, things are falling apart. Loud human screams echo through the dark halls. The mighty dragon, which looks more like a walking nightmare than a creature, crushes the last survivor under its huge paw. The floor beneath cracks open, and the lifeless body drops through the hole. On the level below, a sharp statue waits like it was built just for this moment. The body lands straight on its peak and gets pierced in a brutal way. Drones catch every second of this horror and broadcast it for the world to see. The message is clear: Lucas, the so-called Lord of Swords, is gone. His team, once seen as unstoppable, is now completely wiped out. Stage 127 is a total failure. The boss of the Abode of Fire, known as the Dark Dragon of Death, still has 94% of its health. That dragon barely broke a sweat. The team that had once smiled proudly, bragging about their strength before entering the trial, now lies scattered in pieces inside the ruins. Viewers all over watch this disaster live. Many are shocked. This was supposed to be the strongest team, yet they only managed to scratch the beast. The crowd begins to whisper and worry. Some wonder if anyone out there is even strong enough to defeat such a monster. That overgrown reptile clearly isn't playing around. People say the team shouldn't have entered the stage if they weren't ready. Some fans start begging for anyone to help. A few mourn the fallen heroes. Others stare in fear at the screen showing the countdown. Only 32 minutes and 20 seconds remain to take this monster down. If no one does, the entire area being targeted, yes, the whole solar system, will be wiped out. Screens on tall buildings show the warning again and again. People on the streets freeze in place, watching the nightmare unfold. Someone questions if this really is the end of the world. Another suggests maybe the whole crowd should attack the dragon together, but someone else quickly points out that not many adventurers are left alive. One man accepts his fate already. He says he's going to spend all his money on a farewell meal. Another says he doesn't want to die yet. Right when fear begins to take over completely, a new notification appears. A new player has entered the arena. The 128th challenger is named Endo. He steps through the glowing portal into the burning Abode of Fire. The audience reacts with hope. Not everyone has given up. Maybe, just maybe, this one still has a chance to win. A spectator in the crowd asks the question that's been on everyone's mind: weren't all the other teams already wiped out? It's a fair question because, after all, the arena now only has one lone fighter standing. The moment Endo steps into the Monastery of Fire, the drones swarm around him like a bunch of flies circling something dead. Seeing him alone, another spectator suggests that Ray might as well say goodbye to his loved ones. He's probably just come to end it all in a grand fashion, to die with some dignity. The dragon looks at Ray with amusement and wonders if Ray really thinks he can face him alone. The dragon doesn't want to drag out this little game, so he offers Ray a mercy of sorts: 3 minutes to live. A generous offer for someone about to be crushed by a creature of unimaginable power. Ray doesn't back down. He looks directly at the dragon, and a smirk spreads across his face as he calls the dragon a coward. He even thanks him for the advice. He doesn't seem afraid in the slightest. In fact, he mocks the dragon, saying the more the dragon talks, the longer it gets to live. He then asks if the dragon really wants to survive that badly. The smile on his face only grows wider. He taunts the dragon, saying that he is so moved by its words that he could cry. Naturally, the dragon doesn't take kindly to his taunting. His anger flares, and he laughs at his challenge. The beast decides it's time to speed up the inevitable. He opens his jaws, and a ball of fire begins to form inside. It grows quickly, becoming a massive fairy mass. The system announces that the dragon is using a dragon flame, a powerful area attack. No one in their right mind would be able to survive this, but Ray stands unfazed. Ray calmly hides his hand behind his back and snaps his fingers. Instantly, a small glowing magic ball appears in his palm. He doesn't look concerned in the slightest. The dragon unleashes his firestorm. An explosion rings out, shaking the very foundation of the Monastery of Fire. But when the smoke clears, Rai is still standing, unscathed. He raises the sparkling magic ball with a smile. The dragon is stunned. This shouldn't be happening. It wonders, how did Ray manage to parry his deadly blow? His mind races in disbelief, and yet, Ray continues to hold his ground, the magic ball above his hand swelling in size. Ray, ever so cool and collected, reveals that he didn't come to this fight unprepared. It's now his turn. He's ready to send the dragon's attack right back at him. Ray's confidence only adds to the humiliation of the dragon, whose overconfidence is quickly turning into frustration. With a smile, Ray extends one hand forward, and from the magic ball, a green stream bursts out. The stream quickly transforms into the shape of a dragon. It moves with purpose, circling around the dark dragon of death before sinking its teeth deep into the dragon's belly. The dragon roars in pain as blood oozes from the wound. The system reports that the dragon's health has dropped to 84%. Ray watches with a smirk, clearly unimpressed. He says that the dragon's inferno can only damage it by 10%. He dispels the magic ball, shaking his head in disappointment. He guesses all his preparations were in vain. The dragon, still catching its breath from the pain, tries to respond, but Ray doesn't give him a chance. Ray pulls out a crystal wrapped in a chain from beneath his clothes. With a playful smile, he warns the dragon that after what comes next, the number of spectators watching might actually start to dwindle. He then divides the crystal into smaller pieces, revealing a tiny skull inside. He looks at the dragon and tells him that it shouldn't have opened his mouth. The system announces that Rai has used a unique item, the shackles of the soul. The upper part of the crystal floats above the dragon, and chains begin wrapping around the dragon in every direction. The beast, caught off guard, doesn't even know how to react. Then, with a roar, he is nailed to the ground, unable to move. The chains bind him tightly, causing him to growl in frustration and anger. Ray raises one hand high, summoning the smoke and sparks that now swirl above his head. With a calm, almost playful tone, he tells the dragon to sit quietly and watch. The dragon, now immobilized, trembles but says nothing. Nearby, a drone hovers close to Rai. He materializes a sign from the air and sticks the base of it into the floor. The sign clearly displays details for transferring payment to Ray's name. The drone zooms in, showing the audience the written information. Another drone circles around, showing the countdown clock. There are 22 minutes and 52 seconds left before the area's destruction. Yet, Ray doesn't seem worried at all. He's in no rush to finish this fight. He tells the dragon that he plans to wait another 2 minutes before he ends it. Ray grabs the drone and, with a smirk, tells the audience that if they want him to finish the dragon off, they better transfer the money to his account. He leans casually on the sign, standing confidently against the backdrop of the defeated dragon. With a grin, he points the camera at himself, asking how much they really think their lives are worth. Ray snaps his fingers and a chair materializes behind him. He sits down, pours himself some tea, and casually starts sipping it, completely unfazed. The audience is in disbelief. Some start asking if Rai has lost his mind. The world is on the line, and yet here he is, wasting time over money. They beg him to finish off the dragon already. But Ray, with the calm of someone who holds all the power, simply ignores their pleas. The dragon, furious at the lack of urgency, can't keep his mouth shut. He exclaims that Ray is actually asking for payment in a situation like this. If he has no shame. Ray yawns lazily, snapping his fingers once more. The chains around the dragon's body tighten, squeezing even harder. The dragon, now seething with anger, threatens to make Ray pay for his insolence. Without hesitation, the dragon gathers violet flames inside his mouth, preparing to unleash his ultimate attack, the flame of great rage. A red warning flashes on the screen, signaling that the dragon is about to go all out. The beast opens his mouth wide and releases a blazing stream of flame at Ray. Ray, however, doesn't flinch. He takes another sip of his tea, completely unconcerned. Behind him, a barrier activates, absorbing the dragon's flames effortlessly. The dragon is shocked. Ray sets his cup down on the saucer and casually comments that the dragon still hasn't learned anything. He glances over at the place where the barrier didn't cover, which is now a charred, smoking ruin. Ray raises an eyebrow and asks if he hasn't already told the dragon to sit quietly. He points out that had the dragon obeyed, the sign with his account details wouldn't have been so easily destroyed. The dragon, in disbelief, mutters that he can't believe it. Even his ultimate attack failed. Ray scrolls through his phone, checking the incoming transfers. He shows the screen to the camera, pointing out that only 100 billion had been transferred to him. He asks if that is all they think they are worth. Ray shrugs, as if unimpressed by the amount. He leans back in his chair, stares into the drone's camera, and lazily waves his hand. He tells the audience goodbye, as if he couldn't care less about their world-ending crisis. The live broadcast suddenly cuts out, leaving the entire world stunned. On the huge screens, the word ERR flashes in bold letters. For a full minute, nothing happens. The crowd is silent, their minds trying to process what just happened. Then, an eruption of anger fills the air. People start shouting in disbelief. One man asks with frustration if Ray really needs them to transfer all their savings just to defeat the dragon. What kind of farewell was that? Why did he have to interrupt the broadcast? On the streets, a woman, holding her child, drops to her knees. She can't believe what she's seeing. Is this really the so-called savior of the world? The shock and fear spread quickly as people start begging for Ray's help. Their hopes of salvation are hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, high-ranking officials in fancy offices are nervously watching the situation unfold. One man, walking down a corridor, tells his boss that if they pay the full amount, they will face huge financial losses. The boss, ignoring the concern, shouts back in anger, calling his subordinate a fool. He's sure they can think about that later. The world is at stake. The money is of no use if the world ends right now. They can save the world by sponsoring Ray. He orders the man to transfer everything they have to him. Soon after, an astounding amount of 10 trillion yen is transferred to his account from multiple sources. Rising from his chair, Ray grins, pleased to finally have what he wants. He's now the richest man in the world. He enters system space and activates his unique skill, the Blacksmith of Souls. With a grin, he announces that it's finally time to save the world. Ray snaps his fingers, summoning a vial containing the soul of a Type A mage, the soul of a Type B dragon, and the soul of a god. The system reports that special equipment is now being formed. A holy sword, crafted by a great artisan, materializes before him. Stepping out of the system space, Ray approaches the dragon, who has started to break free from his chains. The dragon laughs in disbelief, mocking Ray. The dragon asks Ray if he is really going to defeat it with such a tiny weapon, a toothpick. The dragon grabs the chains and pulls at them with all his strength. The next moment, the dragon is standing tall, snapping the chains and roaring that he'll finish Ray off himself. But before he can do anything, Ray moves with incredible speed. He swings his sword and cuts off one of the dragon's paws, sending it crashing to the ground. The dragon lets out a painful growl, stunned by how quickly things are going south for him. Ray jumps into the air, closing the distance between them. With quick, precise strikes, he slices through the dragon's neck, severing it into multiple pieces. Then, with ruthless efficiency, he moves on to the dragon's body. In just a few more strikes, the dragon's body begins to fall apart. Ray lands softly on the ground, the dragon's remains crashing behind him. Ray raises the sword high above his head, shaking off the blood that now covers it. He wipes the blood from his face, looks down at the dragon, and says its death was already decided the moment his bank account was given enough compensation. Ray Endo does not just end up here out of nowhere. Some time ago, life looked completely different. The weather had been sunny and strong winds rushed into the tiny room where he sat. He had been fully immersed in a virtual reality game, sweat dripping from his face, not just from the heat but from the intense effort. A glowing system message suddenly appeared in front of him. It announced that he had cleared the final stage. Ray dropped to one knee, completely exhausted, barely able to believe he had actually done it. That game, commonly known as a scam, was called Prophecy Online. The game promised a lot. It had an open-world design, ultra-high 16K resolution, and full-body immersion. Players inside it could smell the surroundings, feel the wind, hear every footstep. It felt more real than reality itself. The game's creators claimed that whoever reached the end would get endless resources, never-ending power that could last for centuries. But nobody with half a brain believed that nonsense. Ray wasn't playing for those fairy tale rewards. He simply enjoyed the escape, the adventure, the thrill. People joked that it would be better if the reward was just some money in his real bank account. But things took a hard turn. Back in the real world, he had been just another struggling worker. That day, he was on a construction site when the foreman shouted out that it was time for a break. Workers grabbed their food, chatting and laughing like life was easy. Ray, though, quietly sat on a bench under the metal canopy, trying to stay out of the burning sunlight. He listened to the others talk about the long day ahead. His hands were covered in calluses. His clothes were soaked in sweat. Despite all his hard work, he couldn't get a proper job. So he took whatever he could find, lifting bricks, digging holes, pushing himself beyond his limits. And what did he get in return from his co-workers? Nothing but trash talk, snide looks, and brain-dead mockery. Reopens his food container and starts eating. At that moment, a notification pops up on his phone. It is from Prophecy Online. For a second, he wonders if the developer suddenly started sending messages again, even though he had turned off all notifications long ago. This message congratulates him, saying he is ranked as the top player in the power rankings among all beta testers. It says the reward will be transferred to his account, and they only need confirmation. The message ends by wishing him success in the game. He unscrews his water bottle and raises an eyebrow. The whole thing looks like some cheap scam, the kind of junk scammers would send in mass emails. Deciding to prove it fake, he logs into his account while sipping water, expecting the same empty balance. But then he freezes. His eyes go wide. On the screen is a balance showing 1,335 yen. His mouth opens, and he almost spits his water. That amount may not be much, but it proves the message was real. Just then, one of the workers nearby yells his name. The guy, probably thinking Ray passed out from heat stroke, walks up and touches his shoulder to check on him. But Ray, now fired up, jumps to his feet and shoves the guy aside without a second thought. He runs away from the construction site like he's being chased by a debt collector. The stunned worker stumbles, falls, and keeps shouting after Ray, but his words fall on deaf ears. Ray keeps running, grinning the whole way home. His mind spins with thoughts. If that silly message about endless resources turns out to be real, then he might finally escape this miserable life. No more construction, no more being looked down on. He decides to go all in on the game, but the fool in him wakes up too late. The game is not what it seemed. It plays with people like a bored king plays with ants. It uses players as toys, disposable pieces in a twisted game. The level bosses are nothing short of monsters, wiping out players in their progress like it's a joke. Dungeon exits move around randomly just to waste their time. But the worst part is crueler than any of that. The game makes sure every hit feels real. Not pretend pain, real, burning, shocking pain. So real that most players develop a fear of dying inside the game and they quit, terrified. Only the mad, the broken, or the truly desperate keep going. And Ray, unfortunately, is all three. His job barely paid enough to survive, just the basics. Food, water, rent, and barely that, nothing extra. To keep playing, he sinks deeper into loans. Slowly but surely, debt wraps around his neck like a noose. Before long, the vultures arrive. Loan sharks start knocking, yelling, demanding what he doesn't have. Still, he keeps going, grinding inside the game, chasing the promise of endless resources. That line about never expiring in centuries keeps echoing in his head like a broken prayer. Now the final stage is complete. His hands shake, his heart pounds. The screen congratulates him again. The game is over. Ray lifts off the VR device with unsteady fingers and sets it gently on the floor. His face, pale and drenched in sweat, lights up with a tired smile. He made it. Another notification chimes. This time from his phone. Hope kicks in again, full force. He grabs it instantly and opens the email from the developers of Prophecy Online. His eyes dart across the screen. The message is not personal, it's a mass email. Just another cold announcement. It says someone has finally beaten the game. And for that reason, all servers will now shut down permanently. No more game, no more world, no more anything. Then the real slap in the face lands. There is no mention of the reward. No money, no transfer, not even a fake promise. Just a thank you for playing like you'd done them a favor. The phone slips from his hands. The screen cracks against the floor. Just like that, the little hope left in him shatters too. His head drops. His shoulders sag. He mutters softly to himself, asking where the reward went. He finished the damn thing. He suffered through it all. He gave his life to it. Isn't that worth something? Still trying to believe the lie, he convinces himself that the amount is too big to transfer all at once. Maybe it takes time. Maybe it starts coming tomorrow. Dragging himself to his mattress, he lies down and stares at the ceiling. His mind tells him to wait, just one more day. But days pass, since that first deposit of $1 million, yet no more money ever comes. His account stays frozen, empty. And now, the cruelest truth begins to take root. If only he had walked away when he still could. If only he hadn't gone this deep. Maybe his life would be better now. Maybe he wouldn't be lying on a cheap mattress in a room that smells of regret. But villains like those game developers, they knew what they were doing. They dangled fake riches in front of broken people and watched them burn for it. Cold-hearted cowards, feeding off hope like parasites. He gave everything and got played like a fool. Time won't give him another chance. A full week crawls by. The air grows hotter, thick with summer heat. On one such morning, Ray wakes up to a buzzing noise from the old fan and a series of non-stop notifications. His head spins from the noise and he grabs his phone, expecting a call or some message. But nothing is there. He turns his head toward the sound and freezes. A floating screen appears before his eyes. It shows something straight out of a nightmare. It says the main quest has failed. The ice test stage has collapsed. Moscow, completely destroyed. Then a new message hits. The next stage begins now. The quest is called Testing the Earth. And there's a countdown already. Ticking, 40 days, 7 hours, 58 minutes. The message is clear: if the boss isn't defeated before the time runs out, the area being tested will be erased. More screens stack up, flashing warnings. Ray stares at them, confused, half awake, and completely shaken. He tries to understand what's going on. His TV, dusty and forgotten in the corner, suddenly turns on. The news is broadcasting something terrifying. A voice reports that Moscow is gone, vanished, turned to ash. The satellite image confirms it. The heart of the city is now a scorched crater. No buildings, no roads, just blackened land. The reporter, a woman named Hayes, is speaking live from the edge of this hell. Her voice trembles. She says Moscow no longer exists. The entire place has been reduced to powder. No survivors. None. To make it worse, twisted creatures have been spotted in the area. Monsters that look like dragons, gigantic, winged, and brutal. It looks like something straight out of a dark fantasy game. The helicopter from Japanese media is flying over the wreckage. Hayes inside says this disaster isn't just random. She points out the events match perfectly with the game Prophecy Online. The quests, the destruction, it all fits. The game is no longer just a game. The similarity is too perfect. Ree sits up, stunned. His mouth goes dry. His heart pounds. He cannot believe the cursed game he once poured his heart into has become a reality. Some expert on the broadcast, supposedly a geologist, starts yapping that the video is fake. He claims the destruction is just a natural disaster caused by shifting tectonic plates. What a clown, blind and full of himself. His colleague tries to speak up, saying the reporter is on site and broadcasting live, but the geologist shuts him down and talks over him like some all-knowing genius. He even says the monsters must be camera glitches. Glitches. As if a burning city and flying beast are just bad pixels. That guy clearly couldn't tell the difference between a dragon and a dust particle if both slapped him across the face. Meanwhile, underneath the hovering helicopter, the creature stirs. Its mouth begins to glow as it charges energy, like a storm building behind sharpened fangs. Hayes inside the aircraft starts to panic, clearly sensing something is wrong. That monster has been staring too long. Its eyes lock on them like they are prey, not journalists. A team member shouts for them to leave immediately. He pleads for them to fly out now. But his words are too late. The live feed suddenly cuts out. The screen goes black. The host in the studio, frozen in disbelief, calls out to the team, hoping someone will respond. No one does. Ray watches it all. His expression hardens. He knows that was some camera trick or earthquake. No slab, no natural disaster, and definitely no tech glitch. That was real. That was from the game. And he knows it deep down in his bones. He doesn't panic. He doesn't scream. He just gets up and starts putting on his clothes. Outside, the world is spinning into chaos. Streets fill with people staring at floating task windows in the air. Their faces are pale, confused, scared. Everyone is pressing random buttons, unsure of what to do. The system is active and it's no longer just a game. It's life now. It's war. Ray, unlike them, stays calm. Right in front of him, the quest window appears again, words hit like iron. Time until end of Earth test is 43 days, 7 hours, 54 minutes. Test location is Japan, and the current progress is 0%. No panic shows in his eyes. The experience he gained, all that hell he went through in Prophecy Online, finally matters now. Strategies, battle methods, survival instincts. He has it all. The rest of the world is still fumbling in the dark. But Ray already walked through that nightmare and came out alive. He remembers when he cleared the game. The game notified him that this experience will become an invaluable asset to him. He now knows what the admin meant by this. He is the only person to clear the game, and that means he is the only one with the power to save the world. He turns the doorknob and the door swings open, and Ray walks out with steady steps filled with purpose. The world may be collapsing, but he carries himself with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what needs to be done. One thought runs through his head. This new world, powered by Chao's in-game logic, could be his chance. With the strength he earned from all that suffering, he could make real hefty money now. Ray begins running through the streets. The city feels off, gray-heavy, like it's holding its breath. Everyone around him looks confused, afraid, lost. The only words being passed from one mouth to another are filled with dread. People wonder if Japan is finished. Panic spreads. Some try to run, but there's nowhere to go. The transport is dead. The systems are frozen. It's like the world hit pause on everything except fear. But Ray keeps running. A dungeon must be close, and he needs to reach it before the other ex-players start scoring points. In this twisted new world, every second counts. Then, out of nowhere, a disgusting voice interrupts the moment. Standing in front of him is Taku, a loan shark who acts like he owns the planet. The same scumbag who kept pounding on his door when he was drowning in debt. Taku blocks his path, lights a cigarette like he's in some mafia film, and starts running his mouth. He throws out insults like he throws around fake power, trying to belittle Ray even now. Then comes the usual arrogant move. He flicks the cigarette toward Ray. It smacks his cheek and leaves a burn mark, not deep, but enough to show what kind of garbage Taku really is. But Ray doesn't flinch. Doesn't give the loan shark the satisfaction of a reaction. He keeps his cool, because punks like Taku won't survive what's coming. A year before all this madness, back when Ray was still trapped in the depths of Prophecy Online, a tempting letter appeared inside the game. It came from a company claiming to support players. They offered a loan of 200,000 yen, no interest, no pressure. Only the so-called qualified could receive it. Their sweet message said not to worry about work, just enjoy the game. The only condition mentioned was that anyone who received unlimited in-game resources had to give up half. To Ray, it looked like a blessing. 200,000 yen, interest-free. That could keep him afloat long enough to finish the game. Once he beat it, he'd pay everything back easily. At least, that's what he thought. But reality has always had other plans. They gave him the money, sure, but after it was already spent, they sent a contract loaded with disgusting interest rates. Suddenly, he no longer qualified. According to them, failed the selection. Their new demand was outrageous, half the amount plus interest, all within 10 days. Then came the goons. Real loan sharks with real weapons. They shoved a gun in his face, threatened his life, and forced him into taking more loans just to keep up. Even when he finally managed to scrape the money together and try to pay, they ignored him. They deliberately dodged his calls, waited for the interest to climb, and then showed up with fake smiles and real threats. Now, back in the present, Taku, the slimmiest of that rotten crew, grins at Ray. He mocks Ray, saying it's time to pay up. Ray clenches his fists clench. He reminds him they never gave him a real chance to repay anything on time. But of course Taku doesn't care. That slimeball brushes it off, acting like Ray is just another excuse-making brat. Then, the snake shows his real purpose. He brings up Prophecy Online. Taku mentions how today's world feels exactly like the game. His tone changes, he steps in closer, eyes wide with greed, and suddenly grabs Ray by the collar, spits words in his face. He knows Ray was a player and thinks Ray knows something. He demands information. That's how low these vultures go. First, they bleed you dry with fake loans, then they come crawling back when the world starts ending, pretending you owe them something more. However, Ray is ice cold. No panic. Only one sentence leaves his mouth. He tells Taku to back off. The face of Taku turns red, veins sticking out like wires about to snap. His voice gets louder, full of ego, like he still thinks this is the old world where he could scare people by shouting. Ray stays calm. No fear, no hesitation. He says there's one important thing Taku needs to hear. Then mana starts to radiate from Ray. His hand lights up blue, and suddenly the tough guy's bravado melts into pure panic. That fake gangster who used to puff smoke and bark orders backs off like a coward the second he sees real power. The system chimes in, announcing the power boost. Ray's punches are now 50% stronger. No time is wasted. The next few seconds are a blur. Ray's fists hit fast and hard, each blow sharper than the last. Blood bursts from the mouth of Taku. His body slams into a road sign, collapsing like trash tossed out a window. Ray walks over, looks down, and cancels the skill. No mercy is given. He simply states what's now a fact. This world is under new management. Taku stays on the ground, motionless, humiliated, not even able to answer. Ray watches him for a moment and then runs off. He doesn't look back. That leech got what he deserved. Nearby, a car rolls by. The window lowers slightly, revealing a hooded guy named Light. Beside him sits a girl named Rio. She looks at Ray. She notices the skill and quickly connects the dots. This isn't random. This is a game ability. Light stays quiet. A smirk stretches across his face. He didn't expect to meet someone like Ray this soon. His thoughts grow darker with excitement. The old rules are already cracking. Soon they won't matter at all. The entire foundation of this world is ready to collapse, and Light seems to be enjoying every second of it. Ray keeps moving. The road leads him to the sanctuary of the goat. Giant doors rise ahead, looking exactly like the entrance from the game. No doubt remains in his mind. He's been here before, in a virtual world. Now it's real. Before stepping inside, his eyes catch something off to the side. A car is parked quietly by the road. Something about it feels off. There's a chance someone else has already made it here. The heavy doors of the sanctuary open. A long dim path stretches ahead, sinking deeper into the earth. Ray steps forward, his footsteps echoing along the stone corridor. The journey down feels endless, with silence pressing from every side. Minutes pass before he reaches the first hall. The air changes. A sharp, metallic smell hits his nose. That isn't dust or age, it's blood. He immediately covers his face, already knowing what waits ahead. Inside the hall, the floor is painted red. Bodies of lizard like humanoids lie scattered, their limbs twisted and burned. The scene isn't a fight, it's a slaughter. In the middle of the mess stands a group. Their leader, Light, is holding his sword deep in one of the corpses, both hands resting on its hilt like he's posing for a villain photo shoot. He looks at Ray and smirks, calling attention to the newcomer. Ray looks back. Something feels off, and the way Light acts only makes it worse. Light, always hungry for attention, talks like he's a king. He claims the monsters here, called shining lizards, are high-level threats. Says they nearly killed him and his team. He tries to make it sound like some heroic struggle, but Ray knows better. These lizards aren't high-level. They are beginner trash mobs, the kind even a half-awake player could handle. Light is just putting on a show. A second-rate actor pretending he survived something epic. The hood comes down. Light flashes a smug smile and points out that Ray came alone. Tries to act like he has the upper hand. Suggests Ray should become his lackey. Offers to protect him in exchange for half of everything he earns. Half for doing nothing. This guy really thinks he's some legendary warrior offering handouts to peasants. In truth, he's just a power-hungry clown dressing up weakness as leadership. Behind him, his team doesn't all share his fake confidence. Their faces show doubt, hesitation, even boredom. They follow him, but they don't admire him, and Ray can see that clearly. Ray closes his eyes for a moment and explains he prefers going solo. No need for fake alliances or shady protection deals. He lifts his hand, points directly at Light's group and smiles, not with kindness, but with bold confidence. He tells them that they don't stand a single chance against the boss. That line hits hard. Light's fake smile drops immediately. His face tightens with irritation. The rest of the team freezes for a second, confused and surprised by Ray's confidence. Their whispers begin. They slip behind a column, hiding like cowards to plan their next dirty move. Light, of course, leads the charge with his usual garbage ideas. He suggests they deal with Ray. Permanently. Not now, but after they handle the boss. Rumi, the magician, hesitates. Even she knows this is a messed up move. But Light, with that same ego that makes him think he's untouchable, insists all remaining players are just obstacles. Less people means more loot. More controller. He doesn't want allies, he wants puppets. Then he throws down the final verdict with a smug thumbs down. His message is simple. Anyone who disagrees will just die by accident. Classic dictator energy from a guy who probably cried during the tutorial. The rest of his so-called team stays quiet. Their eyes shift, nervous and unsure, but no one speaks up. No one dares challenge him. Spineless followers, all of them. Light then explains next danger, the fire goat, a boss that only appears once every 7 days. Beating it gives big rewards, but if someone else gets it first, that's a whole week of wasted time. He makes it clear Ray can't be allowed to win, not even once. Until the boss falls, they won't let him through. The system pops up with a countdown. Only 5 minutes remain before the doors open. Soon, the team will step into the boss room. Off to the side, Ray waits alone and relaxed. A few team members break off and approach Ray. Among them are Rumi, the magician with doubt in her eyes, and Yuji, a swordsman with hesitation in his steps. Ray sees them coming. He already knows what's going on. He asks with sharp sarcasm if they're here to pick a fight too. Because if they are, they better be ready to bleed. Yoji tightens his fist, ready to act tough. Rumi stands beside him, clearly nervous but still going along with the plan. Together they warn Ray not to move. Ray doesn't respond. His eyes stay cold, unreadable. Deep down, he knows he could crush them both in seconds. Teaching them a lesson would take nothing. But honestly, they're not even worth the effort. Not worth the sweat. Time ticks down. Without another word, the group heads up the stairs, approaching the massive door to the room of the boss. Some of them glance back. Ray doesn't follow. He remains standing in the hall, watching them like someone watching kids walk into a fire. A soft smile rests on his face. Let them burn. He'll clean up afterward. Doors finally open. The team steps into the unknown. Ray leans against the wall and takes a slow sip from his tea. No rush, no stress. Just quiet amusement. He wonders how long they'll last. Not long, probably. Inside the corridor, tension grows. Rumi glances around nervously and whispers her doubts. She asks, that guy has not come in, has he? Light flashes his usual fake smile and acts like it's a good thing. His usual tactic. Pretend everything's fine until the world crashes around him. He tells her to stop worrying, says she's just overthinking. They keep walking. The corridor stretches ahead, wide and empty. Suddenly, Light punches the shield of one of his teammates to get him alert. The guy nods confidently, holding his shield like it's made of magic. Claims nothing can beat them. But that smug attitude doesn't last long. A gust of wind howls through the corridor. Strong and sharp like a warning from the world itself. Confusion spreads. At the far end, flames erupt. A massive column of fire rises, lighting up the walls and pushing heat in every direction. Everyone freezes. Light stares at it in pure horror. No joke left him now. The fire clears, but silence doesn't last. The echo of hooves begins. Each step is heavy like it carries the weight of death. From the fire steps a monster, part man, part beast. A giant centaur with burning eyes and a hammer big enough to smash mountains. This is no ordinary enemy. This is Scorching Goat. The Scorching Goat lets out a roar so loud it shakes the walls. Flames burst from its mouth, lighting up the hall like a furnace. Its massive hammer spins through the air in a wide arc, and in one brutal motion, every member of the team gets tossed like ragdolls. Bodies fly across the room, slamming into walls and skidding across the floor. A scream echoes. Then a wild wind rushes through, lifting several of them off the ground and throwing them even farther. Some crash into the massive doors. Light, the self-proclaimed leader, is among them. His plans, pride, and power all crumble under the weight of that single blow. The shadow of the scorching goat looms over them, dark and heavy like doom itself. Light looks up, no longer smirking, no longer pretending. For once, his face shows what he really is. A frightened coward trapped in a game he thought he controlled. One of the girls nearby struggles to her feet and asks Light what they should do now. Panicked, Light tells her to shut up. He tells them they are pulling back for now. They try to retreat, scrambling for the doors. But one of the men already at the exit shouts back that it won't open. Locked. Sealed, no escape. Light turns and barks at them to hold position. His tone is sharp, desperate. He shouts at the guy with the shield, the one who bragged earlier about his epic level defense, instructing him with that shield. He should be able to block its attacks. He pushes the responsibility on him. Doesn't ask, just declares it and expects him to obey. The poor guy hesitates. His mouth opens to protest. But Light, in true fashion, cuts him off and shoves him forward like a pawn in a rigged chess match. The rest of the team rushes for the door, hoping to be saved. Meanwhile, that single shield bearer is left behind, trembling in place, facing a monster that's already destroyed half the group in seconds. The scorching goat lifts its hammer again, stepping forward without mercy. Bones crunch under its hooves as it walks over the fallen. The guy with the shield stares, eyes wide, frozen in fear. When the hammer falls, the impact is like an explosion. Stone breaks. The floor shatters. Dust clouds fill the hall. The sound of the crash makes Rumi and Yuji spin around, but what they see freezes the blood in their veins. The body of their teammate lies mangled, crushed deep into the floor like a broken doll. His shield, once praised as unbeatable, now rests in the monster's hands. The scorching goat lifts the shield high. Then, with its jaws stretched wide, it bites into the metal. A loud, horrible crunch echoes through the chamber as the epic-level shield snaps like stale breadsticks. Everyone watches, stun mouths open. Eyes wide. Nobody speaks. The moment is too unreal to process. Light finally mutters something. He is shaken and weak. For once, he admits the truth. This thing is a monster. A real one. Not something a cheat strategy can fix. Not something he can talk his way out of. His brain spins in circles. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. The fiery goat was supposed to be beatable. Even rookie players could handle it with the right tactics. But this isn't that version. After the game's last update, something changed. Something darker took its place. Now stands a nightmare, a twisted beast that not a single player, not even among 462 people, had managed to kill. Light's confidence rots on the spot. Fear takes its place. His hands shake. His body trembles. His thoughts spiral into panic. He doesn't belong here. This boss shouldn't even exist. Why hasn't it been deleted? Why is it still here? Then a sudden thought hits him. Ray, the one person who might still be standing outside. The one who refused to join them. Maybe he can help. Maybe he can save them. Light rushes to the door. His fists slam against the thick metal as he shouts, begging for Ray to open it. He promises rewards, tries to trade loot for survival. His voice grows louder. His words become more desperate. But silence answers him. Nothing comes from the other side. No reply. No footsteps. Only quiet. He yells again, his voice cracking, trying to force hope into a place where none exists. Then, without warning, the air shifts. A flash of metal sweeps past. The hammer strikes. The scorching goat is standing just behind him, towering like a demon from another world. Its swing sends bodies flying like paper in a storm. The team crashes into walls, into each other, collapsing into groaning heaps. Light lies on the floor, barely able to move. Pain shoots through his ribs. His breath comes in broken gasps. His eyes look up. The goat steps forward, massive and merciless. Light finally speaks again. He realizes the truth too late. They're all gonna die at this rate. Just then, the heavy doors creak open, and Ray steps inside, calm and unimpressed. His eyes scan the battlefield, landing on Light curled up in pain, sweating like a liar caught mid-scheme. Ray smirks, throwing a jab at how pitiful it is for so-called leader to end up begging for help. The same loudmouth who earlier acted like a king now looks like trash waiting to be taken out. Light grits his teeth. His pride is fake ago, everything's gone. At this point, even he knows he's nothing. Just a mistake trying to survive. He decides he'll throw Ray at the monster and make a run for it. Classic coward logic. He pushes himself up and orders the rest to escape, pretending to play the hero. The remaining team members take the chance and run toward the door. Rumi dashes past Ray, but he steps forward and gives her a tip. She should stop. She panics and crashes to the ground. Ray keeps walking toward the scorching goat, but something on the side catches his attention, and he pauses. Behind him, Light sprints with everything he has left. His body barely holds together, but desperation gives him speed. He reaches the giant door just as it begins to close. His arm slips through, but that's all. The door shuts on his hand, crushing it. His scream cuts through the room like a siren. He stomps against the door, tries to yank his arm free, but nothing works. His cries turn into wails, pathetic and loud. The goat walks up behind him, massive, silent, angry. The goat doesn't like Light yelling like a noisy brat. The monster lifts its hammer and swings with brutal force. It says it will put an end to this ear-piercing screaming. The sound of the hit is loud and final. Light's body smashes. Blood flies in all directions, painting the floor and the walls. Rumi and Yoji stare in horror, sitting helplessly against the wall. Their eyes are wide. Fear locks them in place. Rumi shouts about what they should do now. Ray walks up and picks Light's sword off the ground. He turns it slowly, inspecting the blade. He tells Rumi that it is simple. Even if that man was useless, the weapon he left at least has some value. Meanwhile, the scorching goat lifts its hammer high, towering with power and arrogance. It lets out a laugh, mocking Ri like he's just another bug to be crushed. That overground beast thinks it's won already, so sure of itself, so loud. So wrong. The hammer crashes down with the weight of a mountain. But Ray isn't there. In the blink of an eye, he's already above the monster's head. Floating like a shadow in the sky, calm, focused, smiling, he tells the monster that it talked too much. The next moment, his blade slices clean through both horns, ripping them from the creature's skull. Sparks and bone fly. The ground shakes as the horns land with a deep metallic thud. Moments later, Ray lands near the broken team. Rumi flinches hard, jumping back like she just saw a ghost. Her eyes fill with tears. Yuji steps forward, tense and guarded. Ri doesn't even break a sweat. The sword rests casually over his shoulder. That same cold smile spreads across his face. He looks at them not with pity, but like a man doing business. He makes an offer. He tells them if they want to be saved, they have to give him 10 million yen. Their mouths drop. Rumi can't believe what she hears. She stares, frozen. That number hits harder than the boss did. Ray repeats it. 10 million each. Saving lives doesn't come cheap. Not in a world like this. And definitely not when the only one standing is the same guy they tried to trip up. The ones who laughed before now have to pay up or shut up. Because the hero they need just turned the game into his own marketplace. Yuji snaps, clearly annoyed. He throws out a protest, saying Ri must be out of his mind to ask for that much money. Rumi joins in, shocked, calling the demand ridiculous. Both look at Ri like he just asked them to sell their souls. Ray doesn't blink. The sword in his hand rises slightly, and he tells them if they don't have the cash, then they better start working for it. He offers them a deal, simple and sharp. Every time they beat a boss, he takes 90% of the reward. They can keep the scraps. 10%. That's his generous side talking. He could have asked for everything, but he's no tyrant. Just a man who knows his worth. Rumi frowns, eyes burning with frustration. Yuji throws out another argument, saying even when they worked with that Sheth headlight, it was only 50-50. But Ri doesn't care about old deals. He only waits for their answer. Before either can speak, darkness suddenly floods the area. Heat rises fast. A giant shadow looms over them again. That scorching goat isn't done yet. Still burning with embarrassment, it gathers flames inside its mouth like it's about to spit out its last brain cell. Losing those horns clearly melted whatever little dignity it had. And now it rages, calling a mirror mortal, as if that flaming marshmallow ever had a right to feel superior in the first place. It hurls a massive fireball at them, the size of a small house. The blast lights up the room in seconds. There's no time to escape. Rumi barely manages to lift her staff and throw up a barrier, her body shaking under pressure. Yuji grabs her as they both hit the ground, rolling to the side. Her hands tremble, her breath short. That shield saves them, but it drains her badly. Ray lands beside them, calm as ever. He looks at the burnt floor and then at the two fallen teammates. They made it, but just barely. He wonders how long their luck will carry them before it runs out completely. Rumi breathes fast, her voice cracking. She gives up, saying she'll do whatever he says. Yuji jumps in, nodding quickly, agreeing without another word. Ray hears their answer and smiles like someone who just got paid in advance. That smirk says it all, they finally get it. He turns back toward the flaming clown standing in the middle of the burning battlefield. The scorching goat is acting like it's some kind of divine beast. Ray throws a line its way, reminding it that he's already beaten it once. That hits harder than a sword, and the goat stares down with confused pride, pretending it never lost to a mortal. Yoji stares wide-eyed, not understanding a word of it. Rumi quickly adds that no player has ever defeated the scorching goat after its latest update. It's supposed to be unbeatable now. But Ray keeps staring straight at the beast, calm and steady. In his mind, there was no such update. After he beat this overcooked disaster, the boss simply changed form. Now everyone else only fights the flaming version, not the true one. And that's why they keep losing. The goat tries to land a surprise attack, swinging its hammer like it's the king of timing. But it misses. Ri reads the move in a flash, blocking it without effort. That oversized torch of a monster reels back in disbelief, asking how a mere human just stopped its attack. Ri doesn't waste time. He dashes forward, moving with deadly accuracy. He reminds the flaming fool that even a level 50 veteran wouldn't survive a hit like that. But he knows this creature's weak points. And knowledge, not flames, wins fights. The goat grits its teeth, throwing a tantrum with its hammer. It keeps swinging like a kid trying to hit a fly with a tree. But Ray dances past every attack, stepping aside just at the right moment, making the beast look like it's shadowboxing in slow motion. In seconds, Ray gets close. Too close for the monster's comfort. He strikes the eye, fast and sharp. The blow lands clean and he calmly reminds the goat that nothing has changed. Its movements are exactly the same as before. Ray keeps circling the oversized campfire, landing blow after blow on its blazing body. His attacks are sharp and fast, cutting through the heat like it's nothing. From a distance, Rumi and Yuji watch closely, eyes locked on every move. Yuji, feeling way too excited for someone doing nothing, pumps his fist and starts cheering like he's the one in the fight. His voice fills the room, yelling support that nobody asked for. Ri doesn't appreciate the noise. His face turns sore, and he snaps at Yuji to shut it. Of course, Yuji throws a dramatic response back, whining about how rude Ri is. Ray drops to the ground just as the goat swings its hammer again. The floor cracks and explodes from the impact. This joke of a monster keeps talking like it's skilled, but all it really has is size and a hammer bigger than its IQ. It swings again, bragging about how flexible it is, as if flailing around with a toddler with a toy makes it impressive. Ray dodges the next hit, barely. But this time he gets cornered. The wall stops him, and now he's pinned with nowhere to go. That dumb flaming goat marches over, dragging the hammer with fake menace, pretending it's some final boss moment. It asks Ray if he has any last words. Ray doesn't hold back. His reply is short and sharp. No fear, no begging, just pure defiance. The goat loses whatever control it had left. Not that there was much. Its body flares up like a firecracker on steroids. Heat pours out in every direction. Flames begin to crawl across the floor and walls, turning the whole place into an oven. Rumi stumbles back, her voice cracking from the heat. Yoji starts asking dumb questions again, clearly still confused about what's happening. Ray stays calm even now. His thoughts are sharp. He knows this attack. It's the flame of destruction. A move so deadly that even level 99 players usually end up roasted. No dodging, no blocking, no tricks. This is the goat's biggest move. Its final, desperate card, however. Ray's eyes light up, not in fear, but with excitement. This is what he's been waiting for. He drops into position, steady and focused. The system echoes a message. His beginner's kick skill is activated. The power jumps by 50%. The scorching goat wanted to end the fight with a flashy fire show. Too bad it forgot that fireworks are meant to be watched from below. Ray launches himself from the ground so hard that the floor cracks beneath his feet. The force alone makes the whole area tremble. Using the wall and even the monster's oversized hammer like stepping stones, he shoots toward the ceiling. His movements are clean, fast, and impossible to follow. He knows the truth about this big attack. The flame that burns everything may look powerful, but during casting, the monster is completely wide open. Not just weak, helpless. That brain-dead BBQ goat is so focused on gathering flames that it forgets how to defend itself. Ray flips mid-air, feet now touching the ceiling. He pushes off again like a missile, sword aimed down. Even someone with zero experience could hit this fool in the head at a time like this. All it takes is the right angle, and Ray never misses. The blade drives straight into the goat's stall. That one hit is enough to shut everything down. The beast crashes to the ground with a force that smashes the floor like glass. Its body lies still. No roaring, no swinging. Only weak bursts of flame leaking from its mouth like a dying candle. Ray calmly lands, still watching. He explains why the creature's done for. Since it already began casting its strongest spell, it can't stop now. Not even to save itself. The flames it tried to release on others are now turning inward, burning it from the inside out. All that power now backfiring like a cheap firework. The goat's body turns blacker, cooked to a crisp. Flames burst out from its eyes, nose, and mouth. Ray pushes off the sword's hilt and leaps high into the air, staring down at the melting mess. From above, he watches as the creature's whole body turns into a flaming wreck. It looks less like a monster now and more like burnt garbage someone forgot to throw out. Ray gives it one last glance, a faint smirk crossing his face. He silently says goodbye. The floor greets his feet softly. Behind him, the scorching goat explodes in a storm of fire and agony. Its final scream is loud and painful, just the way every arrogant boss deserves to go out. The flames slowly fade away, leaving behind a burnt mess that used to be the scorching goat. Its lifeless, charred body drops to the ground with a heavy thud. Nothing glorious about it, just a pile of cooked failure. The team walks over to the smoldering corpse. A system notification appears, confirming the victory. The unique boss, Scorching Goat, has officially been defeated. Yuji finally breathes out, clearly relieved that he's still in one piece. Rumi stares at the scene, hand over her mouth, too stunned to speak properly. Her eyes shift to Ray, who stands there without a single scratch. Not a burnt, not even a hair out of place. Just calm and cold like nothing happened. She realizes it, he actually won. Alone, without needing help from anyone. The flaming beast that no player could even scratch is now toast. And Ray didn't even break a sweat doing it. Right then, a system message pops up in front of Ray. Turns out he's the first player in the entire world to defeat a unique boss. He is rewarded with a unique title, Novice Conqueror. Ray blinks. That kind of title never existed before. The game's showing sides that weren't there before. This world is clearly different, deeper, more real, and a little broken in ways the developers never intended. The title comes with a perk that turns heads. His attack power against bosses increases by 50%. Not 5, not 15, 50. It's not just cool, it's unfair. But Ray earns it. That boss threw out flames like candy at a festival and still couldn't land a single hit. The system isn't done. It drops another reward. Since Ray is the first person ever to get a unique title, he also gets to pick a subclass, a full subclass. Not a tiny bonus or skill, an actual path of power. No strings. No delay. Ray stares at the message and thinks it's way too generous. Back at the start of the game, choices like this didn't exist. This reward feels more like something out of a dream than a structured MMO. But he's not about to argue. The system asks if he wants to choose right now. He doesn't hesitate. With a smirk and a press of the button, he accepts. Of course he does. Who wouldn't after roasting the ugliest flame-grilled joke of a boss the game had to offer? Instantly, everything changes. Ray finds himself pulled into a different space, a place meant for class selection. The system gives one final warning. Once he chooses the subclass, there's no turning back. No second chances. Ray places his hand on the glowing panel. Sparks flicker out instantly, dancing around his fingers. His mind stays focused. He already knows what he wants. Soulsmith. That's the path. Not just a fighter, but someone who can shape the power of battle itself. Waves of energy ripple from his hand into the panel. Then, a bright flash lights up the space. Sparks swirl faster, like the game itself is reacting to his decision. The system responds, confirming it. The subclass, Soulsmith, now belongs him. Ray cracks a grin. What started as a hunt for money just turned into hitting the jackpot. This isn't just loot, it's a future built on power and profit. He turns his eyes back to reality, curious about what else dropped from the flaming failure of a boss. 2 items appear in midair, a key and a dagger. The air hums with energy around them. Rumi notices the key first. She realizes it leads to the underground waters, special hunting grounds known for training and serious rewards. A place only few ever reach. Yuji, being Yuji, immediately frowns and mentions that even Light, their former top dog, gathered a whole team just to get one of these. That was supposed to be a rare, once-in-a-lifetime drop. Rei spins the key lazily on his finger like it's a toy from a cereal box. He pauses for effect, then drops the truth. It's not rare. In fact, the drop rate is 100%. Always has been. That goat just fooled everyone too stupid to think for themselves. Rumi looks confused, unsure whether to believe him. Yoji, on the other hand, practically starts shouting. He demands to know how Rei could possibly know this. Rei doesn't bother explaining. He just holds up the dagger instead. Now this is rare. The scorching dagger. A blade forged from the same flames that made that goat think it was a god. Rei casually walks over to a chunk of fallen stone, lifts the blade, and makes a small swing. And rock splits cleanly, like butter meeting a hot knife. Rumi's eyes widen. That shouldn't be possible. Rei simply says it's still weak. Just the beginning. No bragging, just facts. He opens his system window, eyes sharp again. This is where it begins. The soulsmith class won't upgrade itself. Materials are needed, effort is needed. But now he has something most players never get: choice, power, and control. Most subclasses in this game are trash, worth less than broken gear. Only a few rare ones stand out, and soulsmith tops that short list. Players with this subclass can extract soul fragments from anything. People, monsters, plants, even minerals. Each type offers a different kind of boost. It's not just powerful, it's game-breaking. This isn't just a class upgrade, it's the cheat code to tear apart the stupid design of this rigged game. Rei activates the Eye of the Soul. His eye lights up blue, glowing with a strange energy. He focuses on the dagger. The system responds, stating the blade can be awakened if he provides a mage soul fragment, F rank. His eyes shift to Rumi, who's chatting away with Yuji like they didn't just barely escape death. The Eye of the Soul reveals more than her name. It confirms she's a magic user level 5. That means she holds exactly what he needs. To take a soul, though, a contract is required, and just like that, Ria's mind flips into business mode. Forget boss fight commissions. This is better. More valuable. He'll take contracts instead of begging for loot shares. He slams the blade into the floor and steps toward them. No tension in his voice, just cold purpose. He holds out the key, the same key that could lead to training and growth. Then he makes an offer. He asks them if they want to become stronger, they can take it. But nothing in life is free. Yuji jumps at it like a kid grabbing candy. Rumi hesitates. Her eyes narrow. Suspicion rises. But the deal is too tempting. Rei shows them a contract. Won't clear a list of items they must bring him. He'll treat that as an advance payment. No confusion. No debates. Yuji accepts the key with tears welling up, acting like Rei just handed him the keys to paradise. Rumi softens too, offering thanks with a small smile, clearly touched by the gesture. But Rei doesn't care about their gratitude. He says, if they grow rich, so does he. This isn't charity, it's business. And business has just started booming. The system suddenly responds, confirming a contract has been formed with Rumi. Everything needed for the soul extraction is now in place. A flask materializes above Rei's hand, glowing faintly as it starts pulling in the soul fragment. The process is smooth and silent, until the lid seals itself into the shape of a giant magician's hat, dramatic, but fitting. The system states it clearly: an F-rank magician's soul fragment has been secured. Rei grins. That's all he needed. Now it's time to forge. He activates the soulsmith ability. The soul fragment and the scorching dagger rise into the air, spinning together in a whirlwind. Sparks light the space as they begin to fuse. Rei raises his hands, eyes locked on the weapon, and demands it to awaken. A burst of light explodes across the room. When it fades, a new version of the dagger hovers above. The edge now glows a loud, sharp, deadly. It drops into his grip like it belongs there. The system announces the awakening is a success. Attack power is increased, and the blade has unlocked a new skill, Soul Slash. Without a word, Rei moves to test the blade. Yuji and Rumi step back on instinct, their bodies reacting before their minds do. He swings the weapon. The air cracks, and a shockwave tears down the corridor, slamming through stone and metal alike. It doesn't stop at the sanctuary wall. It breaks through it. A thunderous sound follows. Birds outside scatter into the sky in panic. Sunlight pours through the massive hole now gaping in the wall. The silence is broken by the soft crumble of debris falling from the ceiling. Yoji and Rumi stand frozen, their faces painted with pure disbelief. Rumi hiccups, clearly shaken. Yuji is unable to make sense of what just happened. They stare at Rei, standing there with calm eyes, one glowing dagger, and a weapon that just erased a wall like it was cardboard. Rei looks at the damage his new skill caused and nods. Not bad at all. A powerful weapon, a deadly skill, and now only one thing remains. He looks at Rumi, and she freezes on the spot, completely panicked. Her body curls up, hands covering her head. Her mind races, expecting the worst. She begs silently, thinking this is it, that he is about to kill her. But he walks right past her without a word. Instead, he heads straight for the corpses nearby. Rumi peeks through her fingers, confused. When she turns, she sees Rei kneeling beside a corpse, hands together as if in prayer. For a second, her heart softens. She thinks maybe, just maybe, he's paying respects to fallen players. Her eyes brighten a little. Maybe there's some honor behind all that coldness. Then reality strikes. The moment the prayer ends, Rei begins rummaging through the pockets of the dead body. No shame, no hesitation. He finds a wallet, flips it open, and starts counting the money. He casually claims it, already thinking about using it to pay for a ride. Whatever hope Rumi had in him is crushed in seconds. Yuji stares at the scene and blurts out that Ray is maybe worse than the monster they just killed. Time passes, and Ray leaves the area behind like nothing ever happened. His next stop is an old temple, now crumbling and abandoned. He walks through its entrance with no hesitation, his steps echoing in the quiet. The path ahead leads him to an ancient well. He doesn't hesitate. He climbs down, stepping onto the stone staircase inside. In his mind, he already knows the truth. There's a hidden dungeon at the bottom. The kind of place made for grinding. Tough monsters, great rewards, perfect for gaining strength fast. Most people need a full team to survive it, a minimum of 3. But Ray holds a blade that split walls and burned bosses. He's not here to share anything. Experience, loot, all of it his alone. A few minutes later, Ray reaches the bottom of the well. The moment his foot touches solid ground, a gold coin slices through the air, heading straight for him. His reflexes kick in. The dagger moves in a flash. The coin splits cleanly, its 2 halves falling behind him with a quiet clink. Ray doesn't relax. He slides into a fighting stance immediately. Ahead, a group of 3 steps out from the shadows. The one in front, clearly the loudest and probably the dumbest, goes by the name Dun. He smiles like a street thug who just learned to count. The fake grin doesn't last long. It quickly turns into a smug glare. He claims this place as his turf. Ray keeps his dagger pointed, calm and sharp. He asks what gives them the right to claim anything down here. Dude Dun answers like he's quoting some playground rulebook. First come, first serve. Ian, another member of this bootleg gang, chimes in saying they're fine with their current setup. Then the third one, Adrian, adds the punchline. If Ray wants to pass, he needs to pay. Everything clicks for Ray. This isn't some strong boss fight. It's a toll booth run by idiots in cosplay armor. Dungeon bandits with big mouths and no originality. Ray plays along. He asks for the price. Dude Dun lifts 5 fingers. 50,000 yen for an hour. He claims the monsters ahead will help Ray earn it back. If that makes it better. As if paying bullies to walk into danger is some kind of genius deal. Ray hands over the money without flinching. Not because he respects the rules, but because he's about to make more than these 3 clones ever will by just existing in the same room as him. They step aside, letting him pass like they're gatekeepers to some grand treasure. Too bad they don't realize what they just let through isn't a player. Ray steps into a large, echoing cave lit by the glow of sharp crystal formations. It doesn't take long for him to realize this isn't just a pretty view, it's a wolf's den. A deep, rumbling roar cuts through the silence, and he instantly stops. The sound of padded feet starts to fill the cave. One by one, wolves emerge from every corner, surrounding him completely. Their growls turn into howls, filling the space with sharp tension. At the front stands the pack leader, grinning like it just found a lost snack. Ray recognizes it immediately. A diamond wolf. Not too strong, not too weak, and blessed with nothing but a shiny name and fragile health. He scans the area quickly. The number of wolves is higher than expected. It's a full pack, likely lured by his presence. Soul Slash could wipe them all out in seconds. But Ray chooses to hold back. No need to waste high-level power on such low-tier trash. The wolves all howl at once and the attack begins. They leap from rocks and shadows, claws out and jaws open. Ray moves like a blade in a hurricane. Heads roll, limbs fall, and every beast that touches the air near meets the ground in pieces. There's no panic, no shouting, just clean, silent execution. Soon, the cave falls silent again. Nothing remains but fur, blood, and broken fangs. Ray walks over to a rock, dusts it off, and sits down like he's just finished stretching. He pulls out a tea bag, pokes in a straw, and starts drinking with a relaxed grin. The cave reeks a battle, but Ray drinks like he's on quiet break. That calm lasts all of 2 seconds. Adrian, one of the 3 clowns from earlier, sneaks up behind him. The same guy who thought shaking down strangers made him tough. He swings his weapon down, aiming to catch Ray off guard. Big mistake. Ray reacts in an instant. The tea flies to the side, forgotten. He grabs the dagger like it's part of him and he blocks the attack. Adrian came to backstab, but now he's face to face with the blade that just turned wolves into meat confetti. And unlike tea, Ray doesn't spill easily. I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, hit that like button as today's goal is 1,500 likes. Comment next part down below for the next part. Also, consider subscribing with the notification bell on to get notified as soon as a new video drops onto the channel. You can also join the channel to support me financially and watch videos before public release. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.